Keller Dover taught his son Ralph how to hunt, and they drove back home, with Keller also imparting a lesson to Ralph about always being ready for any tragedy. Grace Dover, along with her daughter Anna, joined Keller and Ralph as they went to their neighbor Nancy Birch's house, where Anna was delighted to see her friend Joy. They all set the dinner table, and Anna asked Keller if they could go outside to play. Keller granted them permission but told them to take Ralph with them. Eliza and Ralph were conversing when they noticed Anna and Joy playing around an RV. The girls were pulling away from the RV when they heard music coming from it. They hurried back for dinner. Anna and Joy told Grace and the others that they wanted to visit the Dover house to find the whistle Keller had given Anna, while Franklin sang them a jingle. They set off in that direction. Meanwhile, Ralph and Eliza were watching a movie when Keller inquired about the girls. They didn't know the girls had gone to the Dover house on their own. Keller rushed to the house to check on them, but they weren't there. They all grew worried when the girls couldn't be found. Ralph mentioned the RV and that someone had been inside it. They rushed to check, but discovered the RV was now gone. Keller contacted the police. Detective Loki, dining alone in a restaurant, received a call about the missing kids and the suspicious RV. He went to investigate. Tracking the RV, Loki found it on the road. When he approached the RV, Alex, the driver, tried to escape, but crashed into a tree. The police apprehended Alex, and after asking about the girls, he refused to provide any information and was arrested. Loki then visited Alex's aunt, Ms. Holly, who was comforting a little girl. Loki investigated Alex's room, as he sometimes stayed with his aunt. Holly explained that Alex's parents had passed away when he was young. Loki found no evidence linking the RV to the abduction of the girls. Keller, with his neighbors, continued searching for the girls. Loki visited Joy's family, where he received photos of Joy from Nancy Birch, who was in shock. He then went to the Dover house, where Grace pointed out that Loki had solved every case assigned to him. She began crying, and Loki assured her he would find the girls. As Keller arrived, he asked Loki about Alex. Loki informed him there was no evidence against Alex, and it was unlikely that he would have abducted the girls in daylight, which made Keller anxious. Loki assured him he was doing his job, but Keller, desperate, asked if Alex would be released. Loki told him he would try to keep him in custody. Loki spoke to Captain Richard about Keller's desperate actions, then visited sex offenders for further investigation. He eventually arrived at a priest's apartment, where he found the priest unconscious. In the priest's basement, Loki discovered numerous statues and the body of a man whom the priest identified as the murderer of 16 children. Keller, still searching with Ralph, Franklin, and others, received a call from Grace, who had learned that Alex had been released from custody. Keller rushed to confront him. As reporters surrounded Alex, Holly took him away. Keller attacked Alex, who remarked that the girls didn't cry, which angered Keller even more. Captain Richard told Keller that no action would be taken for the assault on Alex. Keller told Loki that Alex had told him the girls didn't cry until he left them, but they didn't believe him. Loki later visited Holly's house, urging Alex to tell him the truth if he wanted to keep his aunt out of jail. Loki informed Keller that Alex hadn't been arrested, but Keller hung up in frustration. Grace cried for Anna, and Keller tried to calm her, handing pills to Ralph, asking him to take care of her and be brave. Keller parked outside Holly's house, keeping an eye on Alex. He saw Alex walking his dog while singing a jingle. Keller pointed a gun at Alex, demanding to know about the girls. Keller took Alex to an abandoned house, where he held him captive, surprising Franklin, who disagreed with the decision. Keller convinced him that it was necessary to find their daughters. Keller tortured Alex, demanding information. But Alex remained silent. Loki, researching other missing children, visited Mrs. Milan, whose child had been abducted 26 years ago, near where Alex's RV had been seen. She revealed that the case had never been solved. Keller, continuing to beat Alex for information, grew increasingly frustrated and cried, disappointed by the lack of results. He told Franklin that Alex must know something, but was unwilling to reveal it. Keller then used a hammer to threaten Alex, but Alex remained silent. The Birch family, lighting candles and praying for the girls, were joined by Loki, who noticed a man, Bob Taylor, leaving a teddy bear among the candles. When Bob noticed Loki, he tried to escape, but Loki chased him. Bob managed to evade capture. The Birch family later heard about Bob's involvement and, after Franklin told Keller about Alex being held hostage, Keller released Alex, believing that both Alex and Bob knew each other. Loki informed Captain Richard that Alex had gone missing, urging him to review the surveillance footage. However, Captain Richard explained that they couldn't afford it. Loki, reviewing the investigation footage, noticed something unusual about Alex's statements. Nancy, shocked, questioned Franklin about Alex's captivity, and he confessed. They went to see Alex, and Nancy was stunned by his injuries. She urged them to help find her daughters, and they uncuffed him. but Alex attacked her and tried to escape. However, Keller captured him again. Nancy told Franklin that they should allow Keller to continue his methods. Later, Bob broke into the Birch house while Eliza was alone, but when the family returned, he left for the Drover house. Grace woke up to strange noises, thinking Anna had returned. Ralph calmed her down and they reported the open window to Loki. He visited the basement and realized Alex might be held there by Keller. Loki followed Keller and was spotted, but Keller told him to find his daughter instead of following him. While Keller slept, he hallucinated Anna, who disappeared before he could question her. Loki, investigating further, learned that Keller had inherited a house from an officer who had committed suicide. Meanwhile, Alex endured more torture but still didn't reveal anything. Loki broke into Keller's abandoned house, but when he was about to uncover Alex's whereabouts, he received a call from a store staff member. Loki tracked down Bob Taylor and upon searching his house discovered crates, which contained bloody clothes and dangerous snakes. In the last crate, he found a drawing book of mazes. The Birch family later identified Joy's bloody clothing at the police station. Keller recognized Anna's socks, which made him angry at Loki for giving the culprits time to kill the girls. Keller told Ralph not to speak to the reporters outside their home. Loki examined the drawings and interrogated Bob violently, but Bob stole the gun and committed suicide. Keller continued to torture Alex, and finally Alex mentioned escaping from a maze. Keller went to Holly's house to apologize for scaring Alex before, but Holly reacted coldly. Keller realized Alex's trauma with snakes and his reluctance to speak about them. The maze drawings and pictures led Loki to Bob's yard, where they found child mannequins buried, realizing the mazes and the blood-stained clothes were just distractions. Bob wasn't involved in the abduction. Loki, upon further investigation, found the stolen clothes, and Grace informed Keller that Joy had been found and was in the hospital, drugged, but Anna was still missing. Keller, realizing that Joy must have heard him, rushed to Holly's house, where he confronted her. Holly, revealing her guilt, pointed a gun at Keller and made him handcuff himself. She shot him in the leg and imprisoned him in a pit, revealing that she and her husband had abducted many children, including Alex, 26 years ago. Keller, trapped in the pit, prayed for Anna. Loki arrived at Holly's house to inform her about Alex, but he realized the danger just in time. He heard movement and found Holly injecting poison into Anna. Loki tried to save Anna, getting injured by a shot. He killed Holly and took Anna to the hospital. Grace thanked Loki, telling him that Keller was missing. The police investigated Alex's house, digging up the yard, where they found the whistle.